Welcome back.
This week we're going to dive into the second room.
Okay, we're going to take a quick look around this room before we get started so you get a good before look at the paneling and the old trim, old windows, ceiling hanging down. We do have all the masking up, so we're ready in that regard, and all the old material out of the first room sitting there. Here we go.
Okay, here we are on a beautiful Tuesday in the living room. And we're going to go into the current construction zone, which will be the kitchen, or the dining cook area. I've already removed the paneling and the walls that we're going to work on, and have sealed off the room. Let's get it nice and tight. Alright, and we've also removed the trim from all the windows and doors. It's all right there. Sealed up the bedroom. Now, after the paneling comes off, you just have rock on the wall to remove, the plaster, and as you can see over here, I already started removing it, and it's a big mess, very dusty. So, have the slats behind the wall, and this is where we're going to get started today, right here. Windows come in next week, that'll be nice. It's very dusty. So, put it on. PPE.
So you may be wondering why we're doing all this work, removing all this plaster, removing slats, tearing into the walls. Well, so this house was actually built in 1925, and apparently back then they did not really believe in insulation, and we do. So we're going to go ahead and insulate all of the exterior walls. That's what we're working on here. That's what we're going to be working on right there, removing some plaster. And so it really helps keep us warm, but also I get to seal up the wall as we go, which is a big advantage to me. And also it helps us find anything that might be hiding, any damage that we may not know exists in these exterior walls, and take care of it while we're at it. And so it's really not that hard to take this stuff off. You'll see I'm just using that same flat bar I use for a lot of stuff, especially in demo work, and a hammer. And this plaster pretty much just chips right off the wall. So not super hard work. It is work, not super hard work. I guess that's what they call owner's equity on this house, if anybody is wondering what it takes to get a house kind of up to snuff a little. We're going to kind of modernize it here, so it'll be good. And that's going to just about do it with that. This is what we call that good old sweat equity. And this is the front room, which we did the bedroom first. This room is roughly 156 square feet. We're just doing the two outside walls so we can insulate them. All that rock's chipped off. We got here the slats, and I've boxed up the rock from the other room, and some paint supplies there. We'll get to that. So yeah, it does make a really big mess. We got a mess here to clean up, and it is very dusty, very dusty. So I'm not running the furnace until all of this work is complete. Just thought I'd take a second to show I'm not using any fancy tools. Old Stanley, I believe, flat bar. I don't even know who made this hammer. I've had it so long.
Same with this one. That one's actually an east wing. Fancy. And I'm gonna shovel everything up now with this here short shovel I got on auction. Alright, now we got all the rock off the wall. And I went ahead and boxed it all up. Now I'm just gonna seal up these boxes, get them out of the way, and start pulling these slats down.
Yeah, so we're going to remove these slats. It's really not too tough to take them off. You see I'm using this flat bar nail puller here. I sure use that thing a lot for this demo work. And I am being careful not to just damage the boards too much because I'm going to reuse them. You'll see little bits of rock that are still stuck between the boards. It's really no big deal. It just kind of falls away. We'll clean that up when we're done. And that's that. Move all the boards, and as I go, I like to remove the nails. Again, because I'm putting these back on, the nails will be in my way. Once I remove them, then I can just cut and put them back on without anything in my way, without getting them caught up in my hands. No one likes to get poked with nails in the hands, so yeah, put these old rusty nails out of the way, and then we can put the slats back on after we insulate. But while we were in here, we found this treasure. Oh boy, that's a bunch of roots from the poison ivy outside that we removed from the house. So they came inside and filled that wall right up and brought along with them, you guessed it, the termites. So they really ate this corner out good, and I'm gonna have to put some new wood in there, and you'll see the finished result in the next video. Went ahead and put some pressure treated wood in.
Alright, all sealed up. Got a little spray foam around some things we can't insulate. And it is finally time to insulate. Now, I got the best I could get locally here for a 2x4. It was R15. It's not great, but it'll be way better than having nothing. And here we go.
So yeah, this fiberglass insulation is not real great on the lungs, so I'll go ahead and use the respirator here. It's a large particulate, so you don't need too fine of a respirator. This will do wonders. I've never actually had a full face mask like this before to do this kind of work, and I am so happy I got it because no itchy face, no itchy eyes, no itchy. So wonderful. So yeah, I am sealing up some of the tar paper that's on the outside of the house just to kind of give it a little extra seal where it needs it. And this insulation I got is staple free. It just kind of stays right where it's supposed to. Pretty incredible stuff. Goes in really fast, it's easy. See, I'm tucking it in around that shelf there, which I cut the slats so I can line them up later. And here we go, these two. And I will say this, everything in this house is just a little too big. So these walls are, the interior where I'm filling is 8 foot 3 inches. So I put an 8 foot piece in, and then I've got to go cut a little 3-inch piece to fill in the bottom. Oh joy. And this is something that I've done for a long time whenever I'm doing this. I like to cut channels for the wires. I don't know if y'all do this or not, but man, it just makes the insulation sit around the wire so much better. And I feel like you just get a better product at the end when you do that. So I'm going to go down here and cut around the outlet. I just cut in from the sides, cut the insulation back a little, and I just fold it in. I don't actually fully cut it out. I just fold it in and tuck it into the outlet. I find that works great. And there we go. Pretty quick. Pretty quick. I wanted to show you this. Last time I was just cutting this with a mat knife. So I got these shears, and if you score the line with the mat knife and then use these shears, I just got them the cheap ones at Harbor Freight. Man, they cut that insulation way better than just trying to do it with a knife. So let me know what your tricks are for cutting insulation, but this works pretty good for me. And then once we're all finished up with the insulation, put the slats back on. I'm putting the slats back on. I know a lot of times, you know, why would you do that? You're just going to sheetrock over them. Well, I'm actually doing it so that all the trim lines up, particularly around the door and around that shelf unit. This way, after I put the sheetrock on, everything's just going to line up like a dream and work out wonderfully. Now I'm using a yardstick to space these out. I find it works really good, and then every couple you'll see I pull the level out and just get a level on them every few because they're not super consistent. But spacing them with the yardstick just makes it go fast, and you got a big room to cover, lots of slats to put on. You don't want things slowing you down. The yardstick really helped out. And it's smooth on the edges, so that's why it actually worked better than using one of these actual slats, because the slats are rough, and so they kind of stick in there a lot better, and the yardstick pulls out. I'm also using that pull saw to cut these down to size. Those pull saws are just amazing and fast and make clean cuts, and again are just way faster than trying to pull like a skill saw out every time you want to make a cut.
Alright, so next week we're actually going to be turning the heat on, the furnace on, finally.
Which is going to be a relief, and I think that I'm going to get all that plaster to the dump so it's out of the way. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.
And thanks for watching.